Russia has confirmed that the country's controversial anti-gay law will be enforced at the 2014 Sochi Olympics, sparking calls for boycotts of the Games. I'm here with Dr. Patrick Risch, a professor of economics at Webster University and founder of Sports Impacts. Patrick, it seems as though the International Olympic Committee is not afraid about backlash from corporate sponsors of the Games, but could there have been more that sponsors like McDonald's could have done to prevent this law from being passed? Do you expect backlash against these kinds of companies?
I don't think we've heard the last of this just yet. We still have several months before the Olympics. I believe they're going to have to rethink their position. There is going to be considerable backlash going forward. And, you have to look at the big picture here. Why do countries want to host Olympics? They want to host Olympics because they want to generate positive exposure and visibility for host cities and for their nation. Obviously, this does the reverse of that. I believe they're going to have to change their position between now and the Olympics.
And there's already been backlash against Russian products like Russian vodka, Russian caviar. Even Procter & Gamble, which is Russia's biggest TV advertiser, is being asked by some to pull its ads from the television stations in the country. But Russia seems to be sidestepping this a little bit by saying that athletes and attendees will be exempt from this law. Do you think that's enough? What else can they do to reduce the backlash?
Again, I believe they're going to have to revisit this in a very strong way. When I first heard of this, it made me think a little bit also of some of the issues that have gone on in soccer in Europe. Racism is much more prevalent in European soccer than you see in any of the American sports leagues. And I think this is a great opportunity for the lesbian, gay, bi community to bring their cause to light. So again, from a business perspective, this entire issue just really befuddles me, because it just doesn't make sense why you would want to stain your country's reputation and bring negative light. You talked about the products that have been targeted. Sponsors, of course, as you mentioned, they also. So I just can't understand why they wouldn't seek to modify this. And again, I think that the lesbian, gay, bi community is going to have an opportunity to really make their voice heard.
Well, speaking of bringing the issue to light, even NBC stands to be affected because the network's being asked to cover the anti-gay legislation in its coverage of the Olympics. And there's no real telling if they will be able to do that yet. I mean, you take the Olympics in Beijing, for example, where a lot were disappointed that human rights didn't get as much coverage. So do you think there'll be backlash against, say, NBC if they don't cover that?
Again, they're put in a difficult spot, and certainly the Russian government is not going to get pushed around by NBC. At the same time, NBC is in a difficult spot because they realize, especially here in this country, where we are very open and accepting, more embracing of alternative cultures and lifestyles, that there will be pressure placed on them. Ultimately, I don't believe that they will see their ratings negatively impact in a substantial way. But I think that whether it's NBC, the sponsors, getting together with the Russian internal ministry to figure out how can they perhaps move forward, because again, this is just a real stain on Russian society, quite frankly.
All right, Dr. Patrick Risch, thank you so much. I'm Brittany Umar for The Street.